Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and Your Cheese compilation for November 2019. Yes, I know it's late, but I promise the next cheese compilation will be on time. It will be here before the end of December. Bottom right-hand corner for game number 1 is the Red Zerg player Zale, and in the top left it is Zine. He is blue and he is Terran. Alright, so we're on Triton the Ladder Edition. Thank you very much to my screeners this month, Jim, Paul, and Stefan, for taking time out of their Thanksgiving weekend to screen this for me. Got some good submissions. They really enjoyed them. And there was a bit of a disagreement on which ones were appropriate for this cheese compilation. Let's see, how many did they agree on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 6 of them got more than 1 vote out of like 20. So that is very interesting because it's usually not the case. Alright, Zale. Extractor pool opening. Are you going to do a proxy hatch? Are you going to do a proxy hatch here? Because Zine is doing a double barracks proxy on the other side of the map. Oh, man. He's doing it. Oh, man. This is... Oof. I am so excited for this. No, hang on. Hang on. Hold on a second. You're not doing it. You threw it down here. I was so darn excited. So either Zine here sucks a lot because his barracks is super late and there's no gas and there's no expansion, or there's a proxy somewhere. Let's see if Zale can figure this out. So extractor pool opening helps very, very much with these kinds of proxy shenanigans from Terran. And if I had to place money on this, I'm going to go ahead and place it on Zale, because he's going to have Zerglings out before this guy shows up. If you want hatch first, then it would be a close thing, and there's going to be barracks thrown up, and it's hard to defend barracks being thrown up with only drones. And hey, look, 2 SCVs. Look at that action, and a Marine. What is happening? We got additional Zerglings on the way. We got Queens in production. I would honestly, at this point, just pull workers off gas entirely and just make as many lings as you can with the larva you've got. More Marines are here, though. This is getting difficult. This is getting difficult to hold. Where are these lings going? Why are they not helping back home? Zale! They gotta help back home, my guy. Okay, SCV dies building that bunker. Queen fighting is not bad in this situation. Gonna try to kill the SCV, or actually just the Marines. One of the two here. Either way, trying to a little bit on both sides of the equation here, but chasing. Oh, I love this. Loving this. I think this is defended. That SCV dies. Nothing's gonna build your barracks anymore. The Marines are all dead, and Zale wins it solely on a paper rock scissors situation where he basically went scissors, and the Terran player went paper, and bad things happen to him. Speedlings are out. He's done. He's done. You go extractor pool. You can handle this proxy stuff. If you go hatch first, which is the more standard opening and the macro opening, you're going to have a much harder time with it. I can tell you from experience. And he finds it. And he finds the barracks, and now there's a wall up here, so that's really annoying. I mean, honestly, either you go for a Baneling bust or just move into a more macro game where you're ahead at this stage. But again, I've seen players like Maru just pick up the barracks, go home, and win the game anyway after getting shut down like this. So it's not an impossibility that Terran can win this thing, and I've said this more than once. I kind of feel like Terran should just proxy hatch every game because it doesn't put them that far behind. Actually, look at this. It's 20 to 25 workers. You have a wall. You've got Marines back home. You're fine. There's just nothing to worry about here. Now, bringing the barracks for scouting purposes instead of flying them back home and using them for stuff is not recommended. Again, if you're following the Maru style of this proxy strategy, you want to send the barracks back home and just produce a ton of bio and then move out and try to get some other stuff done. But I mean, scouting is cool, I guess. But look, Zine, fully saturated. He's got a natural base coming up. He's going to start tank production in just a minute here. He's got a starport coming in as well. Zale's third base is just now getting started at 4.5 minutes, so it's not going to help him all that much. Zale is actually narrow droning and going for a Baneling nest. It's going to be a race to see if we can get tanks out before the Baneling nest is done and Banelings bust that front door. Because once Banelings bust that front door, it's going to be sayonara Zine. However, if he gets a tank out first and is firing on those Banelings as they try to walk up the ramp, it's going to be a much better situation for Zine. So again, sacrificing these barracks, not a huge fan of it. I understand he got some scouting done. Did you actually, importantly, oh, he didn't end up scouting the Baneling nest. Oh, that's brutal. He scouted this and this, just not this. Okay, well, that might be his downfall. If he doesn't know a Baneling bust is coming. Did he just reactor his factory? He reactored his factory. But for why, dude? There are Zerglings down there. There's a lot of Zerglings down there. And there's Banelings, too. Alright, well, here come the Banelings. Ooh, backing up. I like that. Backing up. Waiting for reinforcements to get here. This is some pretty good control from both players. I kind of expected one of them just to A-move, but they're not. They're pulling back. They're moving forward. They're pulling back. They're moving forward. Zergling. Baneling's going to catch you on the ramp, though. Okay, so didn't bust the wall. Didn't bust the wall, and now the Marines are still able to keep the Zerglings at bay. The repair is coming in right now. Still no tank from Zine, which I don't understand. Nothing but Zerglings, man. Zerglings and Banelings and nothing else. There's a lair trying to come up, too. Zine is not allowed to have his natural, but Zale's third base is barely saturating right now at all. He's got 3 drones in production, but nothing mining from it at the moment. Nothing that can shoot up. Oh, did you just manually detonate one of his Banelings by accident? I feel like that's what happened. I feel like that's what we saw in game number 1. Game number 1. That's what we saw there? Whatever. Baneling centrifugal hooks coming in. That's what the lair was for. This is a Zerg player after my own heart. Macro games against Terran are for people who are much better than I am. Let's end this thing now. Nothing in that bunker. All right, well, we're inside the house now. And trying to get a full surround on that bunker. There are SCVs fighting, and that's going to be it. Zale gets inside the house. Zale wins. Rage quit out of Zine. And the Zerg player makes it happen. You know why? Because there were no tanks. Zine was like, I don't need tanks versus all those Zerglings and Banelings out there. Let's make a reactored factory for some reason and make nothing with it, mind you. We're not making Hellions or anything. We're just going to have it sit here doing nothing whatsoever and then make some medevacs, and Liberators would have been better as well, but just trying to hold it with pure Marine with just a wall of supply depots was going to be a rough go of it. And all these barracks could have been barracks already building stuff. If you just brought them back home, the ones that you proxied, instead of leaving them to die. Brutal, brutal, brutal loss there for Zine, but I hope you learned some lessons there, because that's it for game number 1. And let's go to game number 2. Game number 2 is on Rosebud. It's a 3v3 sent to me at falconpaladin at gmail.com with the subject of cheese. Every month I see people sending me replays for cheese that do not have cheese in the subject, which means that I am likely to miss them. So please put cheese in your subject if you want me to be considered, for cheese compilation. All right, so Team South is going to be represented here by the Red Terran player. It is Mantis MM. Then we have his teammate, the Teal Protoss player. It is Andreas. And the blue Zerg player, it is Davidus. That is a hard name to say. Team North here is, again, it's going to be represented by the purple Zerg player Nexus. We've got the orange Protoss player Sersara. And the yellow Protoss player Slays. These names are not easy to read, everybody. Now, you're like, 3v3 cheese, what are you on about? Well, it's going to be some kind of a rush, obviously, because 3v3 games can go for quite some time. And be quite entertaining nevertheless. Let's see what we're looking at as far as who we think the likely cheesers are going to be. There's definitely some pinging down here. Ah, a probe just showed up. That's not a thing to worry about at all. Hatch first, whereas not a hatch first over here from Team South. So I'm guessing Team South is going to be the cheesers based on the fact that their Zerg player has not expanded yet at all. And the Terran player is not taking any gas, and he's going double barracks. So that'll be it. That is what we're looking at right now. He's also throwing up a barracks way back in the corner here. Nobody's expanding here. Why not? You could see this if you expanded back here. And he's throwing up a bunker. Oh, that's a barracks right there too. What the heck, my guy? I think he's trying to make it look like he's just going regular 2 barracks, but he's definitely not. He's going a lot of barracks. He's getting gas steeled right now, which actually doesn't bother him at all, considering he hadn't taken any gas yet. And all of these barracks, I'm thinking just going to be tons of Marines. So what we're looking at, is this more gas steel? This is more gas steel. Wow! Orange just stole 4 gases off of the Protoss and the Terran, which I kind of think is awesome. Except for the fact that nobody cares about it anyway, and this is all going to be basically a ton of Zealots, Marines, and Zerglings coming to murder you. The Zerg player has some gas. He's getting speed started, which is going to be really important. Slowlings are horrible. Like, unupgraded Marines and upgraded Zealots are actually not bad, but Slowlings are some of the worst units in the entire game, if not the worst unit in all of StarCraft 2. I will stand by that. Unquestionably. All right, now, barracks starting Marine production here. Barracks starting Marine production here. Team The other guys can't see this because buildings actually don't have great vision at all. So there's going to be like a multi-pronged, crazy mass marine play in different locations. This is nuts. Do they not see this either? They don't see this either. They are completely in the blind. Okay, so they see the barracks up there. They're going to try to deal with that. But they don't know anything else. They don't know about this one. They don't know about this one. They don't know about any of this. The Zerg player at the very least is going to go ahead and lose his natural. Ooh, actually forced to cancel on this Nexus up north. That's a pretty good deal. Look at this SCV hiding in the corner here. Zerglings coming around saying, nope, you're not hiding in our corner. You're going to die, friendo. But here are the Zerglings. Do they have speed yet? It is just about done. Speedlings and zealots and cannons. Oh my. Oh boy, this is looking bad. I love the gas steal that nobody cares about. Team South is like, well, you gas stole. It took some of your resources from you, which is really, really bad, and didn't hurt us at all. Go figure. So Stalker comes out. We're going to try to wall off here with some Zerglings, and oh, that's just so many Lings. That is so many Lings. Cannon's doing serious work here, too. Did get a couple kills on that dude, and now we're just flooding. Now we're just flooding on in. I love that he's still making Marines back here, man. It's hilarious, hilarious stuff. Zerglings joining the party. Need to get in there and actually start murdering things entirely. Zealot's getting right on top of that Artosis pylon. And there it goes. No saving it. Depowering gateways, depowering cybernetics core and forge. No more units in production for the yellow Protoss slaves, unfortunately for him. And our gas stealer has a Void Ray out, but guess what's pretty good against Void Rays? Marines are pretty good against Void Rays. Chasing him back, chasing him back, chasing him back. Ah, the Void Ray stopped moving, and that means he's dead. You can't stop moving against Marines. You got to cut him. Probes in here, trying to fight at the same time. Zerglings continuing to flood on in. Going against non-essential buildings, but go help. Go help against these ground units. Come kill these probes for these Marines. You're pretty good at that, especially in the numbers that you have. Another Void Ray comes out, but he's in a lot of trouble too. Taking some fire, but actually whittling down this Marine count fairly effectively. More Marines continuing to pop out from the barracks inside the house. It's inside the house. Probe count falling all over the place. This is an aggressive rush that looks like it's going to win right now for Mantis, MM, and teammates. I mean, the Zerg player's got some spine crawlers up, which is all right, but a Zealot Marine play is not it. Sara leaves, Slays leaves, and Nexus leaves, and that's it. Team South ends up winning it with the aggressive proxying, which was a ton of fun. Love to see that. Love to see barracks just thrown up everywhere from Terran. Hilarious. And then just straight up Zergling rush, and then just proxy zealots on the other side. Slow warp-ins, but whatever. It was cool. Had some cannons to fall back to if necessary. I'm not sure these were actually needed, but they were fine. And then that's all she wrote. Amazing. Really, really good stuff. All right, so that's it for game 2. Let's go into game number 3. Acropolis, the latter edition of TVZ cheese for you right now. It's going to be Kralik versus Mantis MM, which is a name that's pretty familiar, but let's go ahead and get right into it here. Top left, it is the red Terran player, Krolik. And in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue Zerg player, Mantis MM. Let's see, what is Krolik backwards? Because there's a capital K in the end. Killork? Do you kill orcs? Interesting. Walling off on the low ground here on Acropolis. Without SCV scouting, that is a pretty risky guy. You never know when there's going to be a pool first, an extractor pool opening here from Mantis, and holding this against a pool first or an extractor pool is very, very difficult. Drone harassment usually means there are Zerglings following up. But not always, because drone scouting is sometimes something that I do, even when I'm playing macro style. Double gas opening here for Krolik. My guy, I don't know that you need all this gas. Had this discussion before. Barracks coming up. All that gas though. I mean, what are you doing with it, my dude? Okay, it's actually only one SCV on each refinery. So not a ton of gas income here, but still, whatevs. Don't get caught. Do not get caught out, my dude. Does manage to get an extractor down. Didn't block it in time. It's annoying, but I mean, at this stage, there's not even an expansion down, so whatever. There's the cancel, there's the move out, and there's the hatch. Oh, yeah, baby. This is the cat style. This is what I've done. I've done this. My goodness. One of my first casts of all time was me doing this in Heart of the Swarm, proxy hatching a Terran. And he was getting Widow Mines up and tanks up, and I was getting Spine Crawlers down and Queens, and it was a really fun game. It was a really fun game to cast. I went back and watched it recently because somebody left a comment on that video. By the way, that is something you can do. If you leave a comment on any of my videos on my entire channel, I get notified of it, and I see it. So even if it's from something 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, bam, I do see it, and I can respond to it, and I often will, because I'm like, what are you doing watching a video that's 4 years old, you crazy person? Anywho, the answer is, it's going to be Lings at the front. He's throwing up a factory here. I really don't think he can allow anything to finish. I mean, the repair is going to keep these Lings out, but it's a lot of lost mining time for Krolik. And when I said it's going to keep these Lings out, I'm not convinced it's going to let these Lings, or keep these Lings out, my guy. This reactor looks like it's going to go down. Only 2 SCVs can repair it, and 4 Lings, 5 Lings can hit it at a time. What a horrible building to put in your wall. Look what I'm learning today. No, stop! You had the reactor, and then you pulled off. Ah! Now there's only 1 Zergling on the reactor? Are you insane? I guess 3 SCVs could repair the reactor. Now there's a Marine out. Oh, you had the wall. You had it. So the Marines now have to basically split their time between dealing with... Oh, Zerglings coming out. And mostly just dying for the most part. Oh, they're going to head on up into the main base. Oh, are they going to force the Marines to respawn one way or the other? Unless they all entirely focus... Okay, they're just splitting their time versus the hatchery and versus these Zerglings. The Zerglings are considered a more present and dangerous threat. Speed is done, though. And now these Lings inside your house are a lot scarier. Queen is out. Trying to take down a factory for some reason. I mean, hey, go after the Marines, Queen. You can do this thing. This is crazy talk. Ah, the Hellion goes down. Zerglings are free inside the main. SCVs have to fight for their own lives. Queen fighting against Marines down below. And actually not a bad fighter versus Marines like this. More Lings keep coming out. And they're going to go after the SCVs again. There's 4 of them. Might as well do it. Oh, this is so annoying. This is so incredibly annoying. And I just love a good proxy hatch. One of my favorite things. We don't see it a lot. Apparently, screeners enjoyed this one, too. Kapow. Kapowski. SCVs are dying. Lings are dying, too. But a lot of these SCVs are extremely low on HP. And is that your GG? We're looking at only 12, 11, 10 SCVs. Right now, 1 basing Terran. Sure, it's technically a 1 basing Zerg as well, but this Spine is putting in work with 3 kills already. Trying to get another Hellion out, but bam! Rage quit. Mantis MM is your winner. The Lings came back around and took out the front wall. There's only 2 Marines to try to stop this from happening. He's running out of minerals. He's running out of SCVs back home, and he decided it was time to tap out. What an annoying, annoying strategy to play against. But Mantis went for the... Again, it's paper, rock, scissors. Right? You're doing this, and your opponent goes for an extractor pool build, you're going to have a bad time. And to have a bad time, he had. So we're not done yet. More cheese coming at you. Don't go anywhere. It's PvP time. I've decided it's going to be Krullis versus Medicinal PCP. Here on Thunderbird, the latter edition, top left-hand corner is the red Protoss player Krullis, and in the bottom right, it is the blue Protoss player Medicinal PCP. Aight, what are we looking at here today? Well, honestly, what we're looking at mostly is just going to be PvP stuff, which is a mirror matchup that closely mirrors each other. Just means that the production tab is going to mirror the other production tab here until somebody chooses what's coming out of the gateways. So, unless it's a cannon rush. Krullis says, nah, it's just a gateway. Both gateways here. No PvP cannon rushing in this game. Again, thanks to my screeners. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in supporting the channel a little bit more than you already do, you can head over to patreon.com/falconpaladin and pledge just as little as $1 a month, which will gain access to an additional StarCraft 2 cast every week out on the page, which is a pretty good deal in my professional opinion. You want extra BlizzCon content, extra home story content? Check it out. Patreon.com/falconpaladin is where it is at. Alright, so that is a forge. It is a gateway into a forge here. Not that there's, I mean, a probat on the map, so if it's a cannon rush, it's delayed. And maybe that's what we're looking at. Medicinal PCP taking a bit of a roundabout route to get to where he's going. And I was unaware that medicinal PCP was a thing. But maybe that's the whole idea, is that you're supposed to look at this and go, I am enlightened about medicinal PCP. I shall go inquire with my doctor about getting some. I don't know, man. Hallucinogens terrify me. They really do. I have no interest, even at all, in having my consciousness altered. I'm a big fan of my consciousness and how it is. So forward pylon here for medicinal PCP. He's going to gate opening. No big deal. He's got his double gas. And this is where things get interesting. Do you want to go for double adept or stalker or sentry or heaven forbid zealots? Don't get zealots. But it's going to be double adept. Okay, that's a play. That's a play. Got a forward robotics facility here. And Krullis is going for the proxy pylon down south too. So double cheese coming at you right now. Kind of looking forward to this. What are we looking at as far as the proxies are concerned? Well, both players are going for Warp Gate, which is pretty good stuff. Could honestly do some chrono boosting. Krullis not using his Nexus energy very well, which is going to be a problem for him in the long term. How's it down here? Also not super great for medicinal PCP, to be honest with ya. Hard to do. Hard to do for Protoss. Kind of like injecting for Zerg, but proxy robotics facility up. Oh, it's going to be a proxy Stargate from Krullis. Now, Immortals are incredible in PvP, but if your opponent happened to go for Void Rays and you don't have any Stalkers, suddenly the Immortals are super bad. Medicinal PCP just waiting for this Immortal to come out, chrono boosting it up. Maybe he was saving energy to chrono boost out his Immortal. Boy, that timing actually kind of was perfect, wasn't it? All right, I'll give you a pass for that one if you're saving up your chrono for that robotics facility. An Oracle actually coming in, so Oracle's okay. Void Rays just have better staying power because they don't run out of energy when they're attacking, but they also don't hit as hard for a short period of time as Oracles do. So I don't know. What are we doing? It's going to be a very small attack, but it's also super early. Shield battery up for Krullis, which is hugely important for him. And oh, it's another adept. I don't think an adept is going to happen. Going to help out very well here. He's got a cannon in the mineral line, though, so if the adepts want to get back there, it's going to be a hard time for them with a cannon ready to rock. Is he going Mass Oracle? He's going Mass Oracle in a PvP. Have I seen this before? Is this a thing, Protoss players? Do you see this in your experiences on ladder, that we get Mass Oracle in PvP? Maybe it's just 2 Oracles. Maybe I'm overreacting to it. Yeah, it's entirely possible. Anywho, Mortal there. Ah, Warp Prisming his units into the main base. Brilliant. Out of medicinal PCP here. So he's going to march in. Hey, you've got cannons and shield batteries. Whatever. We're just going to kill you in a place where those static defense units, static defense buildings do not exist at all. So thanks for joining us. Don't let that Immortal die. Would you not let that Immortal... Guys? Ah! He let the Immortal die. Meanwhile, the Oracles are burning to crisp every one of medicinal PCP's probes. So, we're kind of base racing, except Krullis actually has an economy and medicinal PCP does not. So at this point, I think Krullis just needs to stay alive. Shield batteries, really good. Cannon's going to be decent here as well. Maybe bringing some Oracles over to help murder this stuff would be nice. He's going to bring them over. Yeah, medicinal PCP has no economy at all. He's got Stalkers back home to defend his 0 probes. So that's pretty good. I guess cannon, free shot. Trying to draw the Stalkers out where the Immortals can crush them, but Krullis too smart for that. So the longer the game goes on, the better it is for Krullis. Medicinal PCP needs to end this and needs to end this now. All right, Oracle's coming on in. The other Oracle doesn't actually engage because it doesn't have the energy for it. But bam, good game. Krullis takes the win. His proxy Oracles murderize the worker capacity of medicinal PCP, and he's able to defend thanks to a couple cannons, some shield batteries, and his Oracle's coming on back home versus this very low Stalker count and this 1 Immortal. Wow, not bad. Not a bad game from medicinal PCP. Very nicely done. Very impressed. Let's move on to a ZVZ now. How's that sound? ZVZ time. It's Mazza Morita versus 0-0 here on Ephemeron, the Ladder Edition. Top left-hand corner, we've got the Red Zerg player Mazza Morita. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the Blue Zerg player 0-0, sporting a very smart Falcon Paladin clan tag, which you can get by joining the Discord server. There's a link in the description to join the Discord server. All you need is a browser. There's a Discord app for iOS and Android as well. All right, man. Mazamorita here is going extractor pool. Very, very early gas here. And 0-0 is probably going hatch first based on his drone saturation and the fact that there's not an extractor or a pool coming up right now. Yep, there we go. A 17 hatch here in ZVZ. Very interessante. Checking to see what. Is there a drone back here? I don't know why there would be. Regardless, but Mazamorita, which reminds me of Pat Morita, who played the Karate Kid's like sensei instructor back in Karate Kid 1. I think that was his name, right? Pat Morita? Anyway, Mazamorita sounds more Hispanic, though, if I had to guess the origin there. And no expansion from Mazamorita, which I'm not a huge fan of. If you're Zerg these days, you start out with 12 workers. And even with the Queen, you can't spend all of the money you get from starting with 12 drones on one base. You gotta have a second base to spend all that money. You're gonna start floating cash like crazy. Is he coming down? Oh, he's bringing the drones. He's bringing the drones to try to get up some spine crawlers, but it just feels a little bit late to me. I mean, 0-0, his pool's about halfway complete. If you're going to do this sort of thing... Oh, well, the Overlord's going to see it too. Hey! I mean, if 0-0 is paying attention to the minimap, he sees that. He sees the drones coming over. And honestly, I would just throw up a couple spines and call it good at this stage if he indeed knows there are drones coming over. So, what's he going to do with it is the question of the day. Response now. Pool's done. What's he going to do? Immediately, a spine crawler coming up. Beautiful choice. And the natural base, he might just leave it to die at this stage. He doesn't really have anything to save it with, especially with these drones coming in to throw down spines. They're probably going to toss... Yeah, they're going to toss them up right here on this creep, which has so helpfully been provided by 0-0. So, yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, natural. Lings come out and manage to escape up into the main, and I kind of feel like... Man, there's not a lot up here right now for 0-0. Oh, a single Baneling, too. This is so mean. This is so mean. They've got speed. They've got Banelings. This is really aggressive stuff out of Mazamorita. Those Lings do not escape for 0-0. That's what he needs, is for it to escape. Banelings decide to just, heck, go for it. Why not? More Banelings coming on in here. That Spine Crawler needs to target fire Banelings like its life depends on it. Because it sort of does at this stage. This is such an aggressive play out of Mazamorita. Honestly, I'd bring the spines up. There you go. He's bringing the spines up. No use for them down there anymore. He's got his own spine. Building does 0-0. Spine Crawler 1 burrowing. Banelings exploding on the spine to injure it. But these spines are in range of the hatch. 0-0 is in trouble. I don't know about using those Banelings on the spine, to be honest with you. Not a huge fan of it. I like how Zerg buildings in the mech skin are on fire when they're injured, which is hilarious. Oh, man. 0-0 is in a world of hurt right now. He's got 15 workers to 11, which is nice. He's got more army supply. Where is it? I guess it's down here, would be my guess. Coming on in. Baneling versus Baneling action. Trying to take down the spines at the same time. He gets both the spines. Those Banelings finish, but the target firing is pretty good. And they don't do anything. That Spine Crawler has 4 kills and 47 HP. This Spine Crawler has 0 kills, but should have credit for at least 2. Based on what I've seen, Mazamorita has no interest in expanding at all. He's one base in this as hard as he can. Still starting to float those minerals. Remember what I was talking about here. Start floating those minerals. Oh, we got 2 more Banelings. Nice job. Sniping one of them off with a couple Zerglings here. The control is insane for both of these players. Again, the on-fire Spine Crawler makes me laugh every time. Mazamorita is not interested in going home. He's not interested in macroing. He's going to try to win this thing now. He's holding up with his Banelings. He's holding up with his Zerglings. 0-0 is going for a Roach Warren and using it to wall off his own Spine Crawler a little bit to keep it alive. Roach Warrens have quite a bit of HP, and that's going to be useful here. Meanwhile, Zergling versus Zergling action at the natural base of Mazamorita. And 0 wins that battle, so he's got some vision at least. Mazamorita's Overlord tries to come in, get some scouting, but the Queen chases him off. Nobody loses a Baneling in the exchange at all. There you go. Zerglings versus Banelings. Here we go. Is he moving in? He's trying to move in here. Okay, exploding on the hatch. Not your best bet. If you had about 4 or 5 more Banelings, I think he could have taken it down. Maybe. I mean, we're down to 200 HP. It's looking bad. It's looking really bad here for this hatch. Where are my Banelings at? There are my Banelings at. He really wants to kill this hatchery. He's just like suicide bombing into here with the Banelings. If he gets this hatch, he wins the game. Zero has enough to re-expand. No! He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it at all. Mazamorita as a queen. She's injecting. He's got 15 workers. His gas is okay at the moment. He's trying to make 4 Banelings to do this thing. But the longer this happens, I mean, he's blocking off access to the hatch as best as he can with another hatchery. Does he have a transfuse available on this queen? That'd be really nice. Oh, nice defense! Nice defense! All the Banelings for Mazamorita are dead. And 0-0 looks like he may have done it. There's no more red coming across the map at all. Mazamorita is just getting a second gas for some reason. I'm not sure what that's all about. But roach production's begun for 0-0. He's kind of starting to mine out in his main base, which is totally fine because he's not dead right now. And he can definitely afford to expand down to his natural if he wants. And he does. He's sending a drone down. He Overlord scouted first to make sure it was safe. Got more Lings cruising across the map here, but it's 12-5 army supply in favor of 0-0. And these roaches are going to be able to hold, is what they're going to be able to do. There's nothing coming from Mazamorita right now. These Lings, yeah, they recognize there are roaches. It's just time to pull back. Let's just pull back a little bit. Get on out of here. Mazamorita making his own one-base roach warren. He is going to try to make this thing happen with his own roaches, but he's behind at this stage. It's 21-17 workers. Natural base getting started for Morita, but it's late. 0-0's natural is totally happy. By that I mean it's getting hacked upon by Zerglings, so maybe not super happy. Nice Overlord pickoff, though. Morita does manage to try to supply block 0-0 a little bit, but he is not close to being supply blocked at this stage. He's doing all right for himself. He's got a lair now, which, what tech are you going for with lair? This is a crazy ZVZ. I'm enjoying it. Really am. Bringing a spine crawler down to try to defend it. I mean, the handful of Zerglings versus this many roaches is not going to happen. If you've got a lot of Zerglings and they have +1 attack, you can surround these roaches and kill them. +2 is even better. But as it stands, with no upgrades, the roaches are going to be just fine. Thank you for asking. The Nidus follow-up. That's what the lair is for. There's your Nidus network. Queen's injecting on both of these hatches, and by that I mean not injecting at all, because there's other stuff happening, apparently. Trying to wall off against further Zergling attacks, and doing a pretty good job of it. Mazamorita is droning up a little bit. He's up to 19 workers now, compared to the 26 of 0. And 0's just going to basically Nidus in here with a ton of roaches and win. Roach count is currently 13-4. 5 more in production for Mazamorita, in fairness, but it's still an advantage for 0 here. He needs to transfer some of his workers down to his natural base because he's really oversaturated up here right now. There goes the Nidus, and it is... Changeling comes in. Is that a slow... That's interesting. Is that a slowling with wings? What the heck, Changelings? Either way, trying to get it out here, trying to transfuse it. He does transfuse the Nidus. It dies. But a lot of roaches got out of here. He needs to start another one if he can. He's moving the wooded roaches to the back. This is not as much of a roll as it would have been if the Nidus had been allowed to complete. I didn't realize that Changelings for Zerg make a Speedling that's slow. That's the worst disguise of all time. Alright, well, the drones are fighting, which is never good. Means you're on your back foot here for sure. Is there another Nidus coming up? 0, does he have the resources for it? He does. He's not tossing up another one at the moment, though. He's microing with every last bit of his strength. But, no. It's not happening. And Maza Morita holds on. However, Maza is down 14 to 26 workers, which is exceptionally bad. Zero continues to go up higher in worker count. He did fully saturate his natural with this drone transfer. Got a bunch of roaches there again. Honestly, going again would not be a bad idea. Although, the queens are trying to keep an eye on that corner of the base as best they can. More queens popping out because he lost a couple on the other side of the map. So he just, maybe he was just saving energy for transfuses that last time. Maybe that's why they weren't injecting onto the main and the macro hatch. Fair enough. Fair enough, I suppose. Now I've got some Ravagers, and now it's getting scary for Maza Morita. Now we're looking at a total 48 to 16 army supply. Zero just has crushingly overwhelming numbers here. Maza Morita, instead of droning up when it's safe to do so, has been making army supply very slowly. And that's the trick, man. For ZVZ and every Zerg matchup is drone when it's safe to do so. Like, when your opponent has just Nidus'd you, and you shut it down and kill their army, drone, man. It's going to be a little bit of time where they can do anything else. And a little bit of time is up, and you didn't drone up, so now you have 18 workers. Ooh, nice on Burrow on that spine, but it dies anyway. I mean, it should right now. And it does. All right, so, I mean, this is just a foregone conclusion, and 0-0 is your winner in 11 minutes and 39 seconds. So, yeah, what I do like to say in my casts... Oh, what was that sound? Windows, you crazy sometimes. That wasn't you, that was me. Don't worry about it. But yeah, what I was trying to say here is cheese. Number one thing I tell my screeners is let's make sure it's 7 minutes or under. If it is unique cheese and interesting and intense the whole time, it can be longer. So that's what this was, and I'm cool with it. Number two, no worker rushes unless they're interesting and unique in some way, something we haven't seen before, right? So keep that in mind. And then three, if it's higher level cheese, give it priority. So like if a master player or a GM level player sends in some cheese, we'll give that a priority over everybody else. I don't think that usually happens, and that's just one of the rules that I have. So anyway, good game. Good game there between these two players. Loved it from 0-0. He was down to like 200 HP on his hatch, and he was done. But he managed to hold on, managed to macro up out of it, managed to do some really nice micro with those Lings and Banes, get into Roaches, Ravagers. Nidus killed a ton of drones with that Nidus attack. 7 drones lost from Maza Morita. When he was at 21, that counts for a lot. And didn't lose a single drone of his own today. So nicely done by 0-0, gets the win. That's it for that CVZ. Let's move on to more cheese. Don't go anywhere. TVT time, TVT time. Shadow Slayer versus War Panther. Here on Triton, the latter edition. Wow, that's a good name for both of these players, actually. Shadow Slayer versus War Panther. Holy smokes. Bottom right-hand corner, Red Terran player, War Panther. And in the top left-hand corner, the Blue Terran player, Shadow Slayer, with his Zeratul spinning logo there. Fancy stuff, man. Wearing Zeratul when you're playing Terran. I guess it could have been random coming into the game. Oh, this was played on Thanksgiving. Oh, how nice. Happy Turkey Day, says War Panther. This did get in just under the wire, man. I am pretty sure this got on just under the wire. Like, I sent my stuff out, like, on Thanksgiving night. Yeah, so that makes sense. I think he sent this in, like, day of. And I think that might have been what reminded me about cheese. I was like, oh, crap. Cheese is a thing. Anyway, War Panther in a TVT is going Supply Depot Command Center. What, you crazy person? What? I like how Shadow Slayer is just like, la 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 la, regular SCV scout. And at some point he's going to be like, hold on, that's a Command Center first play. Who does that? Who does Command Center first plays in any matchup, especially TVT? Is he going to proxy? No, that doesn't make any sense. Someone else is doing that. Okay. All right. Double gas opening here from Shadow Slayer. A little greedy, don't you think, says Shadow Slayer. Yeah, man. Absolutely. How do you punish this, though, is the question of the day. The answer is, well, you make a barracks. You get double gas on it. You throw down another barracks real fast for some reason. And you go drop them with Marines and Medevacs, I guess. Don't know. How do you punish this in TBT? What's he doing? Tech Lab on the barracks. He's scouting, which is nice too. Yeah, man. 3 barracks. I'm down. I'm down with a 3 barracks response here from Shadow Slayer. I'd like to see him get a factory, but, you know, not doing that with all of the gas that he has right now. Shadow Slayer, my guy. What are you going to spend this gas on? Is it all going to be spent on concussive shells and stim and combat shield and stuff? Very, very weird. Shadow Slayer either needs to rush for tanks or get some bunkers up or something. I like that he is going 3 barracks, though, in response to the command center first. He didn't just immediately saturate it. But he's using it for mules, and he is defending effectively. Oh, check this section out. It is Marauder. And it is Concussive Shell. Alright. Alright. I mean, that is where the gas is going, then. I just assumed Marines. I didn't figure Marauders would be very good. Especially if your opponent's going a ton of Marines. And spoiler alert, they're not. And it is Marines, and a bunker would be pretty good here. But he's not throwing up the bunker at all. So it's going to be a concussive shell rush out of Shadow Slayer and these Marauders. Yeah, it's going to be 3 racks Marauder push here. I kind of like it. Especially if there's not a bunker up. Especially if there aren't any tanks up. I mean, if War Panther was smart, he'd get a tank out, like, now. Start a factory. Because you know your opponent had 3 racks on 1 base. He's going to come and try to kill you with something. And if you think you can hold it with a handful of Marines and SCVs... Why are there SCVs sitting here? War Panther, put your guys to work, my dude. Wow, he's getting a lot of gas, too. He's got 4 refineries already. What's he doing with it? You know what would be sick is a battlecruiser rush against these Marauders. Like a 2-base battlecruiser rush? Oh, no, not Reapers. In what universe do you want to go Reapers here, my guy? The answer is no universe. Oh, War Panther. Why on earth would you go command center first into 3 racks into Reapers? Well, with 3 Marauders, you can 2-shot Marines. Pretty good. SCVs die pretty quickly as well. More Marauders joining the party. These Reapers are going to pop out and be like, oh, hey. Oh, hey, Mark. And then get slowed down and murdered. They can't even run because of the concussive shell, and all of them are dead. And that's all she wrote. So Marauder Rush, successful. Yeah, War Panther, my guy. You need to work on that build. Whatever it is you were trying to do. Get a tank up, get a bunker up, get something? Like, I'm not even convinced a bunker would have helped here. This is a really well-executed Marauder Rush. He's got a bunch of Marauders. He's still killing things. Maybe he still can get XP out of killing stuff. He's not maxed out on Terran yet. But he's going to let these barracks burn down. He's going to let everything burn down, it looks like. That's his goal, is to make this natural burn down instead of him killing it. Oh, just kidding. He killed that one. Refinery down. Refinery down. He timed it pretty well, honestly, for those 3 barracks and that refinery to die. Alright, well, usually we let players do their thing, but man, he's almost done, I guess. We'll hang out. We'll hang out a bit. And he's out. So Shadow Slayer gets the win. Very smart build, very intelligent build, I gotta say. Well done. And good scout, too. Scouted, responded properly, got it done. That's how StarCraft should be played. Good job by him. All right, we got more cheese. We're not done yet. Hopefully you're enjoying it so far. If you are, hit that like button, and we'll be back in just a second. Hey, it's a new map. It's Zen, the latter edition. Krullis versus AVP. Bottom left-hand corner, AVP. He's a red Terran player with a spinny logo of commas or apostrophes. Sure, why not? And in the top right, it is the blue Protoss player, Krullis. With like a... Is that a headstone with a wolf on it? What is that from? That Menksky? I don't know. Anyway, it's Zen! This is the map that everybody had super complaints about back when this was first released, back when the patch first came out. They actually shut down the 1v1 ladder. It was so buggy. You actually couldn't put a command center or a hatchery or a nexus in this location accurately because of the way it was set up. These little mineral patches bug everybody to no end. They hate it when they're walling off. against Zerg. I think they fixed all this stuff, though. I'm pretty sure they relaunched the ladder, they fixed the maps, and they called it good, which does make me wonder who's doing QA on this stuff? Because we talked to the map makers about it on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, man, what's this? Like, I don't know, that wasn't there when I gave it to Blizzard. They changed it and then released it to the public. Which, why? Why would you do that, Blizzard? Let the map makers have final sign-off on their maps. Jeez. Also, do you not test things? This blows my mind how this was a thing. How did you not have a bunch of people play on it and say, hey, this sucks, fix it, before you sent it out to the public? Ugh, insane. Meanwhile, a proxy barracks is coming up, and meanwhile, a probe scouts it because, well, nice job, probe scouting. I like how the barracks lifts and is like, well, fine, I guess. I'll just try to throw myself down closer while I'm at it. I got scouted. Nothing else doing here. Forge on the way here from Krullis after his gateway. So maybe defensive cannons or something. Bunker on the way. We got ourselves... What the heck is this? This is the natural. Why on earth would you... What? I don't understand. The crazy thing about that whole placement thing here is it didn't affect the top side. It was only if you spawned in the bottom left this was screwed up. Did you also hear that people couldn't traverse ramps? Like, you couldn't get anything up or down a ramp on the ground. You'd have to fly or, like, shuttle it with medevacs or warp prisms or things. What a mess. What a mess it was. I think all of that has been fixed. The whole ramp problem actually extended into the campaign, too. So the AI had trouble traversing ramps, which is hilarious. Anyway, who's making a Reaper and where and why? Why are you making a Reaper back here? This game doesn't make any sense, you guys. What is happening right now? One of my screeners chose it. I don't know who it was, but so far so good. I mean, it's nuts, which is what we're looking for in cheese a lot of the time. If it can't be super high level, it's gotta be crazy. That's generally how I see things. Engineering bay on Zive, going for Stim, going for Marines. Again, a bunker here made no sense. I'm glad he canceled it. Seems pretty smart. Now, shield batteries and cannons can hold a lot of bio. A lot of bio. However, Marauders are your best choice here. Reaper not your best choice here, but that skin is hot. Look how cool that skin is. Turn around to my guy. I want to see your face. Not happening. All right. Well, maybe one day. Perhaps one day we will. Krullis is throwing up a proxy pylon on the other side of the map. When you're being proxied, throwing down a proxy yourself is not bad. Is he going to fight this? I would not fight this. I really, honestly would not fight this. Thankfully, there's no concussive shell. For the Terran player or else Protoss player would be dead at this point already. I think that would be it. Proxying a gateway. Sure. All right. Maybe 2 more cannons just for funsies here. I mean, if you're not planning on expanding. And, oh, look who found it, though. AVP found the proxy. This has been a really bad game for having your proxies be hidden, man. Oh, high ground spotting with the barracks and then a tank firing. Oh, that's so good. That is such a good move from AVP. I'm in love with it right now. The shield battery can only do so much. It's already out of energy versus the tank firing. And, well, that cannon's dead. What else can you hit? Definitely this. Do not put up a cannon there. Yeah, there. Distances, man. Oh, it can hit the forge. Oh, it can hit the forge. How the? Look at that range. It can, like, tickle the very corner of that forge, and it can hit it with its full power. That's nuts. Also, I really like this got scouted by AVP, and he's not doing anything about it at all. Stalkers trying to kill this barracks, or at least cause it to burn down. And they're going to get it, actually. They're going to take some tank fire to do it. But they got rid of the high ground vision, forced a scan to come down, trying to save the forge. Heal the... No, the forge is dead. The forge is dead. Nothing's happening down here. Well. 5 kill siege tank. Pretty effective stuff, man. I like how there's combat shield coming out when the marine count is like 0? 2. There are 2 marines out on the field somehow. Are you? Oh, a Reaper now providing the vision. Dang, AVP doing some plays. However, the Reaper's going to die, and there goes that. And here comes the gateway units that warped in at the forward gateway that are not actually... He moved them over here, but there's a wall. So, like, you actually have to bring them up the ramp to get stuff done. Pro tip, attacking down, and actually does break out of here. Whoa, tank goes down. And actually, there wasn't much here for that, it turns out. So we've got ourselves a bit of a situation for AVP on the other side of the map. What the heck? Did he cancel his buildings? What is happening right now? Well, either way, the Zealots are going to have a great time with these SCVs, especially if a Sentry and 2 Stalkers are helping. Guardian Shield is up, so that the Marine fire is not as effective as it otherwise would be, and Corollas does end up getting your win there. Breaks out of the contain, gets inside AVP's base. AVP is done, man. 20 to 16 workers. Army supplies only 6 at the end of the game. He was sitting on exactly a Marine and 2 Marauders, which is not enough to win, it turns out. And that is a win for your Protoss. That was pretty good. That was pretty fun in the end of times there. Again, it was funny how nothing could stay hidden. All the proxies got scouted pretty much instantly, which is hilarious. And the fact that AVP did nothing about this, and this is what killed him, is interesting. So if you scout a proxy, go kill it, would be my recommendation. Right? Right. All right. Well, good stuff then. That's going to be it for this game. I guess we have a couple more in the tank we can toss down. Hit that like button if you're having a good time, and we'll be right back. Acropolis, the latter edition scene of another cheese game between Quotidian and GLHF. Quotidian? Is that somebody who quotes? Or like an alien from a place that does a lot of quoting? All right, top left-hand corner, it is the Red Terran player, Quotidian. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the Blue Protoss player, GLHF. All right, man, who's going to be the cheeser today? Going to be a cannon rush. Going to be a proxy. What are we in for as a treat? For I think this might be the last game of the cheese compilation for November. Again, send me your cheese submissions, guys. falconpaladin@gmail.com. Subject cheese. I think I only got about 20 submissions, and we do 8 or 9 or 10. So, like, statistically, your odds of getting in are pretty good. I'm just going to toss that out there. They are not bad. So, barracks up at home. No problem there. Gateway here to block Reaper hop-ups. That's all we're doing for GLHF. No concerns, no concerns. Who's going to be the cheeser, though? As both players are sending workers out, so there's some potential there. These guys are going kiss. Right about here. Bonk! Little just boop on the nose. Hey, good to see you. Hey, good to see you, too. Good luck scouting. Yeah, hey, man, thanks. You good luck scouting, too. Although, I mean, we're walled off up at the Terran side of things, so that's hard to deal with. And then walling off not happening at the Protoss, so that is going to be an easier scout. For sure. So probe harassment. Got a Marine in production, because why bother with Reaper harassment against Protoss? It's really hard to do. Like, stupid hard to do. And they're going to make units anyway. It's not like you're going to force Zerglings out against Zerg, and that's why you use Reaper harass. Even if you don't kill anything, you're doing all right. But against Protoss, they're making units anyway, man. There's, like, no concerns. Double gassing it pretty early. Quotidian. And double gassing it fairly early here is GLHF. So what are we even doing right now? Both players going for double gas. Nobody really interested in expanding at this point at all. So what I'd like to see is like a mothership rush versus a battlecruiser rush. That's my wish. Give me my wish, you guys. Hey, here's our proxy. All right, so proxy factory down here, just at a like a fourth base location for GLHF. He's not going to find it. He is not going to find it anytime soon. This is not going to be a found proxy situation. He does make a Stargate, and he is expanding, and as is the Terran player. So here's your proxy. Here's definitely your cheese. Is it going to be proxy barracks or proxy banshees? That'd be pretty good, actually. I'd be down with the proxy Banshee-style play. Really hard to deal with, unless you have shield batteries in your mineral line, which you should do anyway, Protoss, against Terran. Banshees are pretty destructive, but if it's one Banshee, then it turns out they can't kill probes fast enough to account for the healing from the shield battery. So, pretty fancy. Oracle coming on out. Now the problem back home is that there's nothing to deal with an Oracle if you're Quotidian. So, yeah, there's your starport anyway. Happy about that. There's your tech lab. Okay, it's going to be Banshee. Or Liberator, I guess. Proxy Liberator would be pretty good. I like there's a bunker with Marines in it, but they're not protecting the main at all. Like, who on earth ever does an Oracle is the thought here. The answer is a lot of Protoss, my guy. Unless the Oracle flies right over here and tries to get stuff done in the face of the many Marines, which would be hilarious, but the trajectory would indicate no. That's not what we're going to get. So is he building... Wow. He's making a tank and a Liberator? I kind of like it, honestly. They complement each other well. The problem is, this is happening. And by that I mean, this Oracle is moving. There you go. Now you can move. Moving on in, murdering an SC line, STV line. How many kills are you gonna get? The answer is 4. Now the good news is you can actually pull back and mine from this natural, which is fine. The other good news is these Marines can handle the Oracle. If there were 4 Marines, no. 5 Marines, yes. 6 Marines can handle it pretty easily. Yeah, even with your fancy micro, it's not gonna happen. Turret coming up, loving that. He already has an engineering bay down here. Beautiful, beautiful. Turret's going to handle the one Oracle, no problem. And now Quotidian with his tanks and his Liberators. Raven, just kidding. What the heck? I made some assumptions, and my assumption was wrong. So Raven wanders up here. Oh my gosh, he knows that Protoss builds their buildings here. Oh no. Oh no. Auto turret up. Stalkers are trying to fight it. You should not fight the auto turret. You will die. And Stalker dies. Is this my thumbnail? This might be my thumbnail. Like, this is just... You got this nice eating ground here. Tanks are firing shells over the people as they try to eat. Oracle comes over to try to shut this down. Raven says what? Nothing. Raven can't actually stop this. Tank down. Just have to wait for the Oracle to run out of energy, I guess. And it does. Huzzah! So let the harassment continue. Man, tank can't fit in there. You'd think it could maybe squeeze in if it just drove on top of the flowers a little bit. I almost feel like a Liberator would be better, just for the anti-air and just for setting up a circle of defense up here so Stalkers can't get in anyway. There's a little celebratory barrel roll there. Quotidian is throwing up a third base behind this. I mean, this is harassment that might just win the game. Void Ray out, though. Loving that, actually. Oh, but then now there's a Viking. This is crazy. I like this game very much. Okay, so Stalker Void Ray says, get out of here, Viking. Kite, kite. Oh, snap. Same fly speed. No, but dead. Oh, no, it's not dead. And the lock on. No, Void Ray down. Oh, no. GLHF is having a terrible time here. Army supply, 26 to 24. Terran player is up on army supply. He is up on base count now. Third base just now finishing for the Terran. All of the units are being made in defense right now. I don't know what the follow-up here is, though, to be honest. I guess maybe bring your tanks here. That's what I would do. There's nothing to kill here anymore. Quotidian, bring your tanks over here. Set them up on this ramp. Fire on these buildings. Use your Raven and stuff for spotting. Here we go. Maybe. You're thinking about doing stuff, but you're not actually doing it yet. Guy, you're killing me. You have this incredible advantage right now. There's really not much to deal with this many tanks, although the soccer count just got pretty high. Ah, and he was ready. He was ready, although there's a Raven for detection. So if you bring your Raven over and spot it and then murder that warp, or the stasis ward, rather, you're going to be okay. Hallucinated Void Ray? What is this shenaniganry? Oh, spot it. Spot it. He spotted it. Oh, brutal. That's so mean. Hallucinated Void Ray flying around. Actually, yeah, that's bait. Not bad. Firing on, firing in. Here we go. Nothing. Wow, here's your engagement. Oracle down. Void Ray down. Tanks firing. Void Ray's on top of tanks, though. Tanks going down here pretty effectively, and GLHF is pushing back. With the Void Rays on top of the tanks from the backside, the Marines were not protecting them. They were busy fighting the frontal assault. They thought the tanks had their back, but they did not. And as a result, GLHF breaks out. He's going to take down this factory. She really should cancel this tank. Quotidian, cancel the tank, my guy. My guy, there's a tank. All right, well. That does not bode well for Quotidian's chances of winning this game. It's 44 to 11 army supply. It is Stalker, Void Ray, Sentry. Third base up for Quotidian. He has a 37 to 50. What the heck? GLHF has way more workers than Quotidian does. And he's on 3 bases. I mean, I guess he's got mules, which is nice, but he never really saturated his natural base at all. He's just now building additional buildings. Yeah, I mean, he was not quite ready for the follow-up after that attack. And as a result, GLHF is going to come ruffle stomp him in approximately 10 seconds here. So if you want to go get a drink for 10 seconds and come back, that's when the ruffle stomp will commence. Never mind, it started a little bit sooner. All right, well, Marines generally, honestly, not bad against this composition. And the rage! And the rage finishes off the cheese compilation. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Look, man, anytime... Oh, boy. Anytime somebody proxies and loses, you just can't blame the other race, right? Right. Boy, that was an interesting game. Not entirely sure who chose it, but it got picked by at least one screener. So GLHF, your replay was the last cheese replay of the entire cheese compilation for November. Feel good about that. That was pretty great. All right, man. So that's going to be it from me. Hope you enjoyed the cheese. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a cheese compilation. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.